Valheim VR is amazing. Not only does Valheim VR put my mind off wanting a AAA company to make a big epic VR game, but it also makes me feel like whatever these million-dollar companies have got cooking in the kitchen, they should just keep it. Modders and indie developers are doing it better, and they're single-handedly carrying VR games.
Hey!
Yeah?
What the hell is this?
But Valheim, out of all games, received a VR mod, and there cannot be a more perfect game to convert into VR. If you've never played Valheim, it's a survival game in a Norse mythology setting, but to me, this game is what I call an overcoming adversity simulator. And though the game has a main objective that is monster hunting, the main game loop and your motivation is to get better tools to become more efficient. And you have the complete freedom to try and make your life easier as you see fit. And it's not just for combat. For example, crossing rivers is slow and tedious, but you can build a bridge across to speed up your travels, which is so important in this game. And with the map of Valheim all being procedurally generated, what you do to tame your world is totally unique to your choices and your situations. And I cannot stress how important that is to a VR game, because while in VR, you're actually living in the world for the time you have the headset on, so things are more personal. And things like scale and individuality, I believe, are some of the most important things to VR games. And just look how big this map is. And speaking of the world around you, like who would have thought just pixel textures and some good lighting could look so good in VR? I do think the one thing this mod shows is that virtual reality doesn't really have to look like reality to look good. Like, I'd rather have these poor animations and textures than these lifeless mannequins.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
But really, this game and mod pulls off the open world sandbox and survival aspects so perfectly, which is awesome because I do think that survival open world VR games is in desperate need for more love. And this mod really brings you to a state of slight desperation for survival. Somehow, just roaming the map, something taps into your brain and grabs abilities you didn't even know you had. Like just hunting for animals, it did kind of transform me into something. And the only word I can think of to describe it is primal?
You too.
I really started to feel like I was becoming an expert of the wilderness. I knew where to find animals to hunt, and I became a crack shot with the bow. I felt that nothing could stop me and that this world was mine. But of course, while rummaging around like clockwork, I hit a wall. So, yeah, out of all things that could put fear in a man's heart, for some reason the world's toilet bowl just gets me. But I'd have to say, it's not just outright fear. Like, I've been to the beach plenty of times, and I like to think of myself as a strong swimmer as well, so why am I afraid of the ocean? And I think it's obvious I'm not really afraid of the water, but I'm rather afraid of the concept of the ocean. That the ocean takes up most of the planet's surface and it's home to millions of different species, the crazy alien looking creatures you find at the depths of the sea, total ecosystems constantly cycling without any regard or need of the land. Animals hunting, migrating, reproducing, dying, evolving, all of this happening whether I like it or not, and here I am just floating at the top of it all. And all I see is water with no land in sight. And here I try my best to tread water that I know I can't do forever. The strength of the waves I know I can't fight. I'm just stuck prolonging the inevitable. I'm just a piece of food stuck in the sea's teeth, waiting until it swallows me whole and I shall never arise again. You can see how this is one of the things that keeps me up at night. That one of the major attractions that we all like to vacation to and have our children play in can hold so much force and so much uncertainty. Even the videos you see me here where I seem to be having a good time, just know my ass is clenched.
I'm dying.
Just in the back of my mind, a little ball of stress, a lingering thought that at any time while I horse around on the shore, just a little bit further and my existence can be taken over easily. But this angers me because, quite frankly, for a lack of a better word, I'm tired of being a little bitch when it comes to the ocean. And I'm not even afraid of scary movies, but if the blue planet starts to make you nervous sweat, something's gotta change. And Valheim, with its vast oceans, I felt was the perfect world to face my fear, because this one is just a bit too scary. The objective was simple. It was to build a watercraft and venture out into sea, and I won't come back unless I feel that I have completed my mission. But to even get to the point to start my journey, I had to gather materials, so I just had to play the game. And boy, what a game it is to play. You guys have probably noticed that the VR mod has full motion controls, and the amount of effort the creators of this mod must have put in is insane. Things like your shadow casting perfectly, the hit point on your axe is actually right on the head, finger tracking if you have the Valve Index, and the bow is actually fully functional and you grab your arrows from behind your shoulder. And if you aspire for full immersion like me, please turn off your guided aim on the bow and your aim pointers for your hands that they have enabled on default. You'll thank me later. Also, the full HUD customability is very appreciated, especially how they managed to do the minimap. And of course the mod isn't perfect, and that's expected, but everything I've experienced so far has worked in VR. Like house building and loot management, everything has worked. But I have bigger fish to fry. As I neared getting enough materials for my voyage, I built a little dock to mark my starting point. I stood on the shore, looking out at my challenge. I placed down my craft and took my first steps aboard. And as I set off, watching the shore drift farther and farther away, it put butterflies in my stomach. But I was determined. I wanted to stay out in the open water as much as possible, so hopefully I can learn to not fear the water. And in the ocean, I encountered problems I didn't prepare for. I may have stocked up on food and arrows, but I did not prepare for how difficult navigating the water could be. First, the wind. You need the wind to constantly be behind you so you sail forward, but the wind would change directions drastically, throwing me towards the coastlines of hostile land.
Fuck off. Jesus. Holy fuck, what is that? That is scary. I'd rather go out there than... Oh shit, alright.
Avoiding rocks to not damage my ship, fighting fierce waves. Also, remember that cool mini-map that you place anywhere on your arm? Well, I guess if there's any time for me to get a bug, it was now, and my map would not show up at all. So even though I wasn't going anywhere in particular, after getting caught in some dense fog, I was sailing blind. My only choice was to soldier on. And as if my journey couldn't get any worse, a storm hit. My craft was shaken from side to side, and at some points I even swore the ocean started to slant. I felt like this was the end for me. I didn't know if my raft could take the brutality of this storm. My nerves were shot, and at this point I was freaking out. And alright, I get it. I know some of you probably thinking I'm taking this way too seriously and blowing this way out of proportion. And no, I'm not taking this too seriously. Right?
Yeah! Neptune! Poseidon! Whoever's out there, you're forsaken me! Not in the pits of hell, but this forever cycle of cold discomfort you must find amusing! But no, you sent me to a place where many sink into a deep despair to never return. But yet, I stay afloat. So I say unto you, gods, do your work!
You may have a point. But really, things for me actually started getting better as I sailed longer, and I just got more comfortable with being in the sea, even to the point where I even sat down on the floor in real life, because at this point I'd been on my feet for 2 hours and the boat was just going straight anyways. I actually started to feel boredom while sailing in the open waters, and I now totally understand why all of history's sailors were complete drunks, which I may or may not have participated in. Please drink responsibly. I was having such a good time, I actually almost forgot why I was even fearful of the ocean in the first place. And just when I was starting to feel like I was king of the world, Valheim was gonna help me remember, and this time, never forget.
Oh, what is that? Oh my. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Oh my god. No! No! Serpent, no, 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 no! Oh!
I died. My journey was abruptly cut off and it was over. I respawned back at my base with my fire put out and the room dark. My situation seemed grim, but I didn't let it affect me. While most people try to avoid and distract themselves away from what they fear, I went at it head on, and I think I did pretty well. And now it's crossed off my list and I can put this all behind me. And now I could continue playing the rest of the game and never touch the sea again. Yeah. Home sweet home. Huh? What? Wow. Okay.
Oh, I bid farewell to the port and the land, and I paddle away from brave England's white sand to search for my long ago forgotten friends, to search for the place I hear all sailors in.
Wow, so you would rather be singing sea shanties with the boys than spending time and having sex with me?
If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching my video. I linked the mod's Nexus page in the description, and if you have Valheim and a VR system, I definitely recommend, especially if you have a friend to play with. And keep in mind, co-op still works even if your friend doesn't have a VR system. This mod has just done so well by me, and it has completely ruined the normal flat screen version. But just know that this is a VR mod for a game that wasn't designed for VR, so you will find some jank and some minor annoying things, such as the render distance is ridiculous, making you think there's an open valley in front of you, but actually it's the densest forest you've ever seen.
There it is, home sweet home. as it renders in the distance.
Or when you pop open your inventory and it stays where you opened it so you can't run and manage your loot. But still, this mod is so well done. I've never had a game crash, so please check them out if you're interested. And also consider tipping the authors of the mod. This is all done for free and they're producing better products than AAA developers. So if you got the means, show them some support for all their hard work. And as for my outlook of the ocean, I think it's changed. I actually don't get as nervous anymore when thinking of the ocean, and sailing around in Valheim is my favorite thing to do in the game. It really shows how VR can not only simulate situations to train people like flight simulation, but that it can also help people face their fears in a safe environment. It really changed my mentality on things, and I've come to the conclusion that if the brain can make it a fear, it's your brain giving you a challenge, and that means it's something you can conquer. And conquer I shall.